Okay, call meeting to order at 12:30. And let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, I do. I just some of the pins on them boards out there are working their way out. All right, could we have a roll call, please, Clerk Perrin?
Sure. Treasurer Hopper.
Here.
Supervisor Bertram.
Here.
Trustee Detmer.
Here.
And Clerk Pern here.
And
Trustee Monet excused.
okay, we have a quorum. Is there any board comments to start out with? We should quit snowing. That's all I got.
Let's see if I had anything. No.
Make a motion that guy cooperate. Quit snow. If you
Okay.
see it that way, please, Lori.
Hmm.
Don't take it the wrong way. And could you do us the pleasure of potentially trying to, and I don't mean this as a man-woman thing, fire up a pot of coffee to see if that's going to work while we're here, and we can just see if it works. Now that it's been plugged in overnight or longer.
But it doesn't have an automatic shut off, eh?
Just trying to make sure for the RTA meeting that it works. Okay, hearing no other board comments. There are a couple of additions, and at least that I'm aware of. And I'll go through those and see if anybody else has anything. So we have 6 on the agenda. Number 7 would be, or just title it expenditures. I am somewhat duty bound to report that during the ice storm, what I may have okayed for spending without ability to have a board vote. Or make you aware that it happened. Number 8, Mr. Hops has some info about US 27 expressway repair. And does anybody else have anything for this work session?
Can we go ahead and pass down the chicken ordinance and get that going into the number 85 or whatever it's gotta be?
We could make a formal statement that the board recommendation, or that we could discuss making a formal recommendation that as a board, we're not, the planning commission input, thank you for your input, but we're not going to ignore it. We're going to have this added to the zone. We could do that.
That's what we should do.
Okay, can do that. Or at least have a vote on it.
Animal
You
ordinance.
want to make that 9 then?
Yeah, we can make that 9. I think I can manage to get the right words out for it without great detail. Okay. Other additions from other board members.
Steel quote discussion for the parking lot. Remember, we were supposed to do it last year,
Yeah, I will add it as number 10.
and I'm just gonna pass this down for you guys. Is it
It's the stuff we
What's the
could have approved and they didn't want to do it because of weather.
too late? Nate.
If it was,
Yeah, it was too late. Nate.
you know,
Sir,
Okay, any other additions from the board? Okay, hearing none. Then I will make a motion that the board approve the agenda as modified, as stated. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Hops. Any further discussion from the board? And hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda as modified signify by saying aye. Opposed, the same. And then the motion carries 4-0. Okay, first agenda item. Thanks for coming, you two. Put a little, we should actually put a picture of people over there. Number one is update discussion on GFL, what answers we have and have not, and update from our legal firm. From the legal firm aspect, I did send him last week and then sent again yesterday the updated version of the contract, the previous and current contract. Is that correct? We are still under that one, Mr. Hops?
Yes.
Okay. He has not replied yet. Last time I didn't get something in 4 or 5 days, he was on vacation or out of the country, so I haven't heard back. What else? I know you guys had a meeting. Why don't you fill us all in? And
Yeah, so Greg and I met with their representative the other day, Tuesday, one day this week. So we're under contract till June of 2026, which is coming up.
okay, actually, I think he said it was till 27, but he was going to,
27, yes, you're correct.
we were gonna make those changes.
So he's, what he would like to do this coming June, do a 1-year contract or do a 1-year extension from the current one and then sign up to a 7-year contract going forward. But on this current one, the one that's going to come up in June, he's actually lowering the price. Right now, we're at $16.57 a unit, a resident. He's going to lower it to $15.90, which in turn will save the township. I think it's right around $12,000
He gave a figure of 16.
or 16,000. Is that what you have? 12 for some reason. And then after that, after the year, June 27, then he would raise it 4% per year for the duration of the contract. And he would exclude fuel charges. So in other words, he will not charge us any fuel surcharges for the duration of the new contract going forward. So that's something we're gonna have to vote on here in the next month. But I just like to bring that up. And he also, he is throwing in 1 30-yard dumpster, which we've already started to use at the compost for we got a lot of cleanup to do up there. There's concrete blocks, there's old wood, just stuff that needs to be cleaned up. So free of charge, 1 per year for the township use. And he's agreed to empty the recycle bins twice a week for the months of June, July, August, September.
That's it.
And the rest of the year, we figured because they charge every time they come out and do that, and I know the summer is busier, so it does need twice a week. And then the rest of the year, it's just once a week, because there's no excessive use for it. So I would just say this, we need to approve this, starting in June of 2026, at the new rate, because they're actually lowering the rate. So we're gonna have to vote on that. So if you guys want to wait till next month, that's fine, because I won't be here for our next meeting. So it's up to you guys. If you want to do it today, fine. If not, you want to wait till May meeting, fine as well. But just so you know, we need to get it done.
Just a couple more things on my notes I had. He will sign this thing and it'll be as of June 1st, 2026. And so we'll get it done sometime either in April or May. Whether we want to put it off, that's up to you guys. And you were right about the act of God clause for the week missed. You were right. And he says almost every business has the same thing.
I wouldn't say.
Well, I don't know, I guess, but I just thought, geez, he said Wednesday and it didn't turn out any better, so at least Friday. So, yeah, that's okay.
I think that's good to at least giving us a break for a year.
Well, I think so.
Lowering the price and 4% after 2027. We'll see what, it's a year away, so
We could recover some of that, though.
yeah.
A couple things. I would not be in favor of doing anything today because I do want to hear back from the attorney. Secondly, I think Timothy being involved is probably a good idea. And we don't have to do it today, so that's, we don't have to.
Well, I'll just say, this has nothing to do with us proceeding on past years of going back. This is going forward. It's up to the attorney if he wants to go after, or us, if he wants to go after GFL for the past, 5 years or whatever. That has nothing to do with this.
Okay, then I'm a little confused. Let me back up a little. We as a board voted to have the attorney pursue the past monies.
Correct.
They're offering this, you thought they were offering this as a kind of a,
No,
we'll go from here and that'll be where we go from and we don't go backward. Okay. So he really, my sending him the latest signed contract, he has not done anything. He had said he would start working on drafting a letter. So if they are two separate things, then if I'm hearing this correctly, this does not resolve the other one because they're two separate things.
Not at all.
Not at all. Doesn't resolve it, or?
It doesn't solve the problem from before. No, nothing to do with it.
No, I think he's offering a lot if it's not a piece of.
I'll see this. If we don't get this done before he gets a letter from us, he might change his mind.
That's the point. That's the only reason I wanted to get a signed contract soon, with the June 1st date on it before our attorney, pursues it in court. The other thing, I don't want one to hurt the other. So,
He's not gonna do anything that we don't ask him to do. I'm not in a hurry, but that's me. It has to get done by a certain date. I don't think he's gonna pull it off the table if we don't send it to and do it right now. But if it's gotta be done by a certain date, that's fine.
It'll be done by June 1st.
Well,
Can we vote?
well, not the old issue,
No, the
this new thing. Yeah, this got to be signed within his hand and we need a signed copy back.
but for a board meeting, the Timothy.
Huh?
Can we vote the 1-year contract and not the 7-year contract, or are they all one
We're
thing?
gonna get this together.
I think it's a great offer. I think Timothy should be involved and
Mhm.
I think thinking it over isn't gonna hurt us. As you're well aware.
Next month.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna avoid snap decisions like a plague, but that's just me. No, I like everything he's saying. Anybody else got any comments on that? Cause this is where we would talk about it. So till June 2027, and we have until this June 1st to act on it, right?
Well, we need, yeah, it's gotta be in place by June 1st. That's when it would take
Well, I
effect.
should be able to get it on the board meeting agenda.
Oh, yeah, we got a board meeting in May.
Well, he won't be here, but we can put it on.
He won't be here for this next one.
Right,
That's-
but we can put it on it. Excuse me, we can put it on the next one. Well, let me ask you, Kevin, would you rather be here when that happens or?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well,
I
then,
don't want you guys holding it down without me here.
well, then we won't do it on the next agenda. We'll print them out something. We got till June 1st, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, second. General discussion amongst board members on how to handle signed complaints made concerning township employees. I'm not gonna get into the names or anything. I'm aware of one, probably another one that's coming. As a board, I have some potential ideas on what to do about them. Let's hear some thoughts. We, like 3 of us can't talk about it. That's an open meeting violation. I don't want them to come up to the whole board in a work session or a board meeting because I think we end up putting people's business on the street doing that. My initial thought is maybe 2 board members should be reviewing things that come in like that.
It's a good idea, 2 board members.
And I'm going to say that for personal reasons, some of you know, and maybe some of you don't, I do not want to be one of those people. There's somewhat of a conflict of interest in it, at least in one of the current ones. So what do you guys think? We need to kind of do something about this. Official,
It's kind of vague. What do you mean handle complaints concerning what kind of, any township employee?
Yeah, township employees, elected board members, we hear about it every meeting we have. There's no mechanism really for what do we do when somebody's complaining about a township employee? And that would include contract employees. I'm asking that we consider putting something in place to deal with them because we have one right now. And I'm aware of another one coming. They can't be ignored and I need to bow out of it for personal conflict involved in there. I'm suggesting 2 of us because that's not an open meeting act violation and it keeps it out of the eye of the public.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I agree.
I'll nominate Greg and Steve Detler.
Wait a minute, Timothy's not here. You need to nominate him. He's not here.
Well, if it's a 10-minute meeting though, then it'll be an hour meeting. So
If you're, currently they come across my desk as supervisor complaints. I can email to, 2 people,
mhm.
but you could talk about it without deleting anything.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll volunteer. And I don't care which
So,
the trustee you put it in.
well, the short straw's not here.
Is Greg gonna do it?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Okay, so
Great.
Greg and Steve are volunteering.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, no problem, anytime.
I'm okay with that. Anybody else got any other? This is a kind of a new area, so.
Well, this is the second one that I've heard, this one today, and probably another reason to not involve Timothy. He was.
He's.
Part of something,
Yeah,
and so. And
that would be, we could maybe do things without having to put people's names up.
yeah, okay. Well, I would not like the reputation of one of our township employees issuing threats or things like that. That's all I'm saying. That can't happen. That wasn't what they were hired for, and,
Yeah, and I know that certainly last year I was involved, was in the middle of complaints, just with demeanor. And there's a lot of contract employees and a lot of our township employees that I kind of, took care of, but then that's me doing it and you guys don't know anything about what's going on. That ain't right either.
no, that's okay. That's fine.
Okay, anything else on, how to handle general complaints about township employees?
Does that require a motion or we?
I don't want to do a motion quite yet, because if you're volunteering to do it, I'll just forward it to them and we'll see how that goes.
All right. That's good.
I had to nominate you, Steve.
Yeah, there you go. Every place I ever worked,
I
you always,
understand,
you gotta nominate the person that isn't there. That's their penalty,
but, I've been a supervisor for quite a long time and throughout my career, Greg has too.
Yeah.
I think we can handle it.
Okay, number 3 is continued discussion on the compost use fee and automated gate. And I threw that in there. I don't even know if we have more info or not, but
I've got one quote so far and I'm waiting, another company was here yesterday. I should have his by today, tomorrow at the latest. And I've talked to consumers and they can't get out till next week because instead of running 500 feet of wire for electric from the compost building, there's a box that's right by the gate. It's a consumer's box, which ties in to the power going to the road. So I want them to come out and see if they can put up because all we need is 110. If they can put, if we can tie in off of that, would save us a tremendous amount of money, because 500 feet of wire is, it's ridiculous amount. So I'm waiting on them, so I'm not quite ready yet, but, it's probably gonna be somewhere around $10,000 to install it. An electric gate. And at that point, we'll need to see about, I don't know, doing a resident fee, $20 one-time fee, something like that to get a key fob, but it's still too early. Until we get these numbers in, I would just hold off on it.
Oh.
So that's kind of where that one stands right now.
Is any of that, were we thinking about possible grants for that or not?
no. Not that.
Okay,
I mean, you're gonna save money without having an attendant as well. Which I think we pay $6,000 a year to attend it, so. If you're spending 10,000 one year, and it doesn't take long to pay for itself. But let's just wait until I get that other quote, because the first one was like 85 or 8,700. So let's just hang on for another, maybe next meeting I'll have it all ready to go.
Were they able to give you like an example of where there's one around here as far as, like how well do they work in bad weather stuff?
No, it's like anything else. I mean, they stick a little bit, but
Well,
nothing you can't. It's nothing. It's no different than you having to open the gate. I'll put it that way.
No, I know that Garish ended up with a drive-on version of something. There's problems with them. I'm just curious if more money would resolve, potential problems. I don't know.
Yeah, this one comes with a key fob, so every resident will have a code, and it stores up to 500. So it opens it up when you go in, and then there's a sensor when you go out, and then it closes on its own. So it's a pretty nice setup. And I think people would, then you basically can come and go, as you want.
Well, as I told you last year, I went with, John Davis over to Garrish, and I was so impressed with
Yeah.
the way it worked. Of course, there was no bad weather, and they take,
It's like anything else in the winter, man, everything. So it's mechanical. Chances are you'll have an issue with it sooner or later.
Well, if a Chevy gets it done and a Cadillac gets it done with less problems, I'd be willing to have more taxpayer money go into it. But we'll see.
but we gotta get some figures, and this is down the road a little bit.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. All right.
Okay, yeah, grants, there was safety and security grant money available. It was $2,500 and we ended up submitting a grant for that to help pay for the camera at Phoenix for the fish. I'm not aware of any other grants that would have paid, like for anything any bigger than that, and Amanda's pretty good at digging that stuff up. So maybe. I can ask her.
Well, please do. Or if I get a chance, I certainly will.
Okay, anything else on the board on automated gate? Okay, we'll move on. Number 4 was hiring a compost site attendant, which is somewhat related. Did I hear that right? That we're thinking if we get a gate, then we would not necessarily be in a hurry to do that?
Yeah, I'm not in a real hurry right now. Bruce said he would do it on Saturdays and take Mondays off, Fridays off, or a day off to offset it on a Saturday. And Wednesday, we've got, our guys are there in and out all day long. So I'm not in a rush to really hire anybody at this moment, especially if we're gonna get a gate, then, there's no point in hiring somebody, then a month later telling them we don't need them.
Okey dokey. So I'm kind of out of that loop, but did you hear anything recently, Kevin, about the company that was going to come and take the leaves? I think they were waiting for frost laws.
Yeah, waiting for the frost laws. They're still say they're coming to take it all, so.
If they do that, I mean, part of that attendant's job should have always been, and towards the end did become, that he should be moving leaves, he or she. So if we take that out of the equation and that other company takes a bunch of that out of there, then that's a workable thing.
Yeah. In the pile, it's the limb pile. It's probably an eighth of what it was before we burned it all. But it's coming in pretty good from that ice storm.
Yeah, my neighborhood, Sapnagon's Lodge, there, 80% of it's still laying around because people haven't even come up yet.
And we've also got probably, I'd say 10 loads of wood chips from the road commission, bringing them in from them going around to shredding up all the branches on the roads. It's we're doing a pretty good pile over there now. So if anybody needs wood chips, by all means.
Cool.
And we're gonna get a sign out there too. Put a sign by the pile so a lot of people don't know it's free. So we're gonna put a free mulch
Well,
chip sign out there. I mean,
I'll go, a little sign. Free wood chips, only $10.
yeah.
Free wood chips tomorrow. Anything else on the attendant in relation to the gate discussion? Okay, we will move on. I threw this on there, it's spring concerns. I know that the maintenance crew is working on stuff and working off a list. I didn't know if anybody else had any issues that they had noticed as a board member. The limb debris is still there.
It's 31 degrees, so I'm kind of concerned if spring's gonna happen and all.
Well, you have a better connection with the good Lord than I do. Outside of it, you work your magic there.
Are we doing anything at all with the shed? Is it there for the duration?
Once the skates are dealt with, the initial suggestion was move it down and start putting baseball mitts and bats and stuff in it for people to use. I have no problem with that. It got no farther than that being initially just, it is set up to, you can skid it around on the 4x4s that it's on. We used to do tree planting in the woods with huge boxes to keep stuff. It's not that hard to just bore a hole through it, run a rope. And when you're lifting on it, you're lifting it up a little bit, just tow it right down wherever you want it. I personally think that's a great idea to foster baseball. But we'll have to, that was what came up. That's the only thing I heard. Either that or initially it was take it in the compost site so nobody could screw it all summer, but.
Well, going back to the skates for a minute, did you ever get your proposal for the skate guards and they'll need to be cleaned up before they get stored for the year?
Kevin's aware, I haven't heard an answer yet. I don't know. I know you can get cheapos. I don't know how many, they originally all had a cheap guard. I threw them all in one corner of that building. I don't know if they're still there.
I didn't know they all had skate guards. Oh,
Real thin small.
oh,
I don't know where that's at. It's on the agenda for the park and rec and cemetery concerns that I submit weekly. So, no, I know you had talked about cleaning them. It makes sense. Cindy Pops is the one who suggested it, that they're all really sharp right now. They're almost all like brand new. It wouldn't cost us much to keep the blades. Plus, if you're really stupid, you can cut yourself. It happens.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's still gonna be dealt with then.
So the only other one, and I put it on that list too, because coming up pretty quick, is going to be the buoys and the buoy placement and the buoy method. And I'm going to, Leanne Wisnowski has contacts with the South State Park because of the store lease that they do. Where they ended up being placed and the fact that they were crooked, I would certainly not want to repeat that. So at some point, it's going to come up about what we can do differently, and that would include, I think, petitioning the DNR to either make an exception or fill out an application that explains better where we really want them. And that it shouldn't be limited by only 100 feet from shore, because to me, lake by lake by lake, that's a different number. And the fact that they were augered in, they have an auger point on them. They were supposed to be put in with water jet. Turned out to be very difficult because of the rocks. But if you went out farther, there wouldn't be as many rocks as far as keeping them straight. So as far as a spring concerned, last year we were way late getting them out. This year we got to, I think, get them out sooner and figure out a way to do it better. There's probably more, but that's all I wanted to run by today, because that may be, we may have to do a petition to the DNR. We'll see. Okay, any other matters? Cross that out. That was 6. So no other spring concerns from the board before I move on here. Okay, number 7 then is expenditures. Legal firm explained to me that anytime you have a crisis and you have to do things fast, and then end up spending money, then that's okay as long as you end up coming back to the board and making them aware of what happened. So officially, what did happen during that ice storm is I approved up to $3,000 to sergeants who was willing to do it and could do it. Because of the frost laws, they could run up and down 104. Nobody else really could. When we tried to burn the pile to make room for more debris, it basically was a gigantic frozen ball of crap. So instead of trying to burn it and wait on it, we made the decision to have them come in with a grapple and a steel treads or steel tracks, bust all that apart so that it would burn easier, which he did. And then we found out so much of it was frozen, he actually ended up hauling 4, 5, 6 dump truck loads of that crap right out of there. The initial assumption based on emergency management is that we can submit that for reimbursement because it would not have happened that way if it wasn't for the other stuff. So in trying to make room, I pulled the trigger on OK Network and he did it. I don't think he submitted a final bill yet. So I don't know what the final amount was. So when we do our board meeting next week, if he hasn't by then, I'll try and get a hold of him. Then I'm making you aware that that was an expenditure that happened without a full board vote.
Well, I think you should make it known that you did discuss this with other people too, and I was one that recommended sergeants because we've dealt with him before and he's been very fair with us. And I would deal with him again.
Yeah, the knock is that you cannot make decisions like that without calling a special board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer from the legal firm is you can, you just need to make the board aware of what you did. And that would be the assumption that you would approve it. I made the call, I own it. At that time, things were happening really fast.
Well, the little things that might work in our favor, we didn't have any power, we didn't have any internet, we didn't have any way to contact one another other than drive over there if your road was not littered with logs, which mine was.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned explaining to the public all of the details on how that went. It's more that legally, I am supposed to make you guys aware at the next meeting
Okay,
that that's what happened.
well, that'd be a week from now, huh?
Well, I'm making you aware this, I'm calling this the next meeting and then hopefully if it gets in the consent agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out that whatever we do in the future, we should not let a pile sit there over winter because it accumulates and ends up freezing in at the bottom. And if you try and push it together with a tractor, that puts more dirt in the bottom. So we created something a little bit more complicated than it had to be. So we won't do that again.
Well, I did hear two different things. One of the places, in addition to Derek's, one gets their stuff out of there just before the onset of the heavy snows and things, and another one gets it all completely out in spring. So they both had good ideas, but one was for creating more room, but one may definitely be because it freezes and then you can't do anything.
Well, we waited in order to chip it into the next fiscal year. It cost. If we'd have left it alone and not tried to pile it up, that would have been huge. Trying to pile it up using the bucket instead of the forks. But, basically it was a big frozen donut about 2 foot high on the outside. Now that we did burn one, we can talk in the future about how we deal with this stuff. Anyway, so that was just something I had to do. So I did it. Of course, the legal advice in the future is to try and do it instead of meeting. but recognize that there are times that might not be possible. Okay. Number 8, Mr. Hobbs has some news about US 27 that I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, so so many pavement maintenance systems. They're gonna be tearing up 127. July, they're starting the end of July. We're working on it for a month. So anyways, they'd like to borrow our compost road to store equipment and some stone and some sand. I think there's 5 pieces. I sent you guys a map and the dump truck, trailer, tanker, low bore, spray truck. So, yeah, they would like to borrow the one side of the road going to the compost on the right-hand side, across from, you're going into the compost, across from the soccer field, along that wood line, to store their equipment, and some aggregate. Which I said that, I have no problem with that. You gotta send me something, which they did, saying that everything will be returned properly. And I also asked them, because we have some really kind of bad spots at the compost, if they would be willing to fill in some of the big holes back there, spread it out for us, and they said, absolutely, we'll do that. Which would help us out, because it's muddy and the very back there, and there's some big holes. So they fill that in. They've also agreed to pay us a lump sum of $3,000 to the township for the rental, which would go directly into the compost fund. So that we need to vote on ASAP, because if we don't do it, they gotta look elsewhere. So that I would like to do today.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, they said they'd make that road, as good or better.
Yeah, the same way, yeah, it would be same way they left it, but one of the guys I know fairly well, so I'm gonna push him to do a little extra for us out there. But yeah, I'd like to get this, because he says, I can't wait. It takes time for them to find places. The DNR won't help them out. I asked him about that, and he said, no, they won't help them out, and they can't do anything on state land. So he came to us, and I mean, I, for one, have no problem with this at all. And that $3,000 can go into the compost fund, which would.
And it's not blocking the road, it'll be perfectly road for shoulder and.
It'll be off to the, I told them you cannot block the entryway into the gate there, so. It's up to you guys.
Motion, Hobbs,
Hang on. Discussion.
we can't, what discussion do we get the motion?
Good idea.
Okay,
I
that,
like the way you think.
second?
Second.
Okay, now a discussion.
Does anybody know where the exact line is between the border of township property and the state? I guess I would be a little concerned that we didn't, weren't throwing a third of a pile of stuff actually on state land. Not that I care, but if somebody complained, I don't know where that line exactly is. It's probably close to that wood line. I don't even know if there's a way to.
I don't think it's a problem.
I don't think they plan on being in the woods with their equipment. I think they plan on parking it along the road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if it's on the edge, it isn't gonna matter as long as nothing's spilling back.
And I don't think they go as far as the tree line.
No,
No, I didn't think so.
No, I like everything about it. I know that we have. Wade has offered. From S&J to redo the road, the holes in the front. Once the frost line is completely out, can't do anything about it till then. if this is July 27th, if he redoes it, it should hold up pretty good till all this happens. It's kind of after the spring rains. No, all good. The only other thing is I think the signature has to come from our esteemed clerk. Wise, because you deal with paying the money out.
Okay,
That's all I got.
Well,
Sounds good. Well, nice job, Kevin.
Yeah,
Get us something.
well, since there's money involved, it's coming in, not going out,
Mhm.
we still need a roll call?
let's do it just for the fun of it.
You won't have to say you didn't.
Well, it's easy enough to do, so let's, is there more discussion? Okay, so we're gonna, okay, this thing here, the motion Hop Stedman, go ahead with the $3,000, the improvement that he's gonna do to park, partly on the road, partly on the shoulder, along the way to the.
Yeah, and I gave you guys a map and everything where,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a staging area. I like that. Let's have a roll call vote and we'll see if we can't straighten out language on the motion. Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
Clerk Kern, yes. Treasurer Hupp
yes.
and Trustee Dittmer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty easy one, I will admit.
Okay, motion carries forward of it.
Animal ordinance.
Yeah, so. Backstory being. Short backstory, planning commission. Suggested we do not approve. Chicken ordinance. We decided to do it anyway. There needs to be a language correction in the zoning ordinance according to our legal firm. After some more time went by, the planning commission, voted to not make that addition or not. In either case, their recommendation was that it not be done. So it comes back to the board now. We can act in any manner we see fit. The planning commission gives recommendations, we make the final decision. So the last piece of this, keeping chickens in R1 needed to be an inclusion of one sentence in the zoning 55 ordinance that allows for, I'll do my best to say it, but then we can do a motion that be changed or added, amended actually. So the language should say in the zoning ordinance, should the next thing in series, I think there's 9 or 10 on there, would be like number 11. That the zoning ordinance allows for the keeping of chickens in R1 residential per animal ordinance 35. It's as short as that.
Second.
Well, I'll make a motion that the township board approve that change to the zoning ordinance.
And I'll second it.
Okay. So we have a second. Any further discussion from the board? And hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, those opposed? Okay, that motion carries 4-0. I know what needs to be done. We will formally do it. Board has approved that we will formally do that. Okay. Good
Do
enough.
we have to post a notification somewhere or something?
Let me check with the attorney again, the actual addition of the language, if it's considered a amendment, which some thought it would be, we'd have to do a meeting and pass a resolution to
That's
approve
your-
the amendment.
Okay.
The last time the attorney told me, he said it's not an amendment, and you can just say,
Okay,
I'll find out.
sounds good.
Either way, it gets it done.
All right,
Okay, so that was that. 79. Okay, moving on to seal coating, which is number 10. I believe everybody got one of those from Mr. Hops.
So this was from last year. Well, actually, this quote is just from today. This last year was 41.34, so he went up $100 last year. And I can't remember if we had approved it last year and didn't do it because the season got on, or we didn't approve it. I don't know. But regardless, if you look at it out there, it's kind of getting a little. It's kind of, yeah. So this quote covers approximately 25,000 square feet of the seal coat, all the cracks blown out and filled, any edging that needs to be done, all striping, all new striping, and with the addition of 10 spaces across from here, so along the back, they're gonna put in, so everybody's not parked wonky all over the place. They're gonna we'll put in parking spots. So this is the total bill for everything. Like I said, I don't remember if we did last year.
I can look it up,
Yeah,
see if we approved it,
But-
but there was some discussion, I remember. And Paul was leading it. He says, well, there was two different quotes we got. One was more expensive because one was two quotes.
yeah, the other one was 8,000.
Yeah,
So,
Did we ever figure out if it was that high? Cause it
oh,
was,
yeah,
was it because it was two coats?
2 quotes, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know if you really need shoe coats because it's not like there's constant traffic on this parking lot, so. I would prefer going with the one, that's just me, but
I would like one change on there if it doesn't offend anybody. We have two handicap things. I would like that doubled. I'd like it four.
Four?
Only because at some of our heavy meetings last summer, I know people were not able to park there and it doesn't sound like a big deal.
we'll just you'll just switch out a regular parking spot.
Oh, yeah.
in front.
Fine.
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
I got one other thing, maybe to add to say we can approve this for them. As long as they come back in 2.5 years. And no, come back in 5 years and redo the asphalt walking path. That we may end up with 27
Yeah,
for nothing.
it's for free.
Unless the guy that signs it is the vice president, he's 86. Yeah, he'll sign that one.
Sure. Yeah, come back in 5 years for nothing.
Okay, so do you need a motion on this?
Well, is there any other discussion? I'm okay. We kind of hammered this before. It was really about 2 coats or one.
I just think because of the amount of traffic, I don't think we really need to. I mean,
No, I mean,
it saves $4,000, so.
I don't know his business. So let's put some faith in him too.
let me put you on the spot, Pam. It's okay if you don't know offhand, because I know that stuff's complicated. For the building fund that would pay for this, is that the hall fund? Okay, so to be clear, it's coming out of the hall fund. Okay. Same thing or? Okay, all right, see, I knew you knew. You're awesome. You're awesome like that. Any other board discussion on it? Okay, I'll make a motion that the board approve the bid from Ideal Asphalt Seal Coating to do the parking lot out here. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? And that is money again. If you could do a roll call for us, please, Clerk Pernin.
Clerk Kern, yes. Treasurer Hunt,
Yes.
trustee Zentner,
Yes,
supervisor Bertrand.
Yes. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Missing something and you're good at seeing when I miss something.
Seal coat is number 10.
Did I? Okay. So then we are now to public comment.
Our huge public.
So either one of you got anything to say, come right on up and say it. I don't know if that microphone's on, but if you push that center button, it should do something.
John Davis, Lyon Township. I would just like to add with regards to where you're talking about the leaf dump. I've got some property over in Garish, so I've been going to their dump for several years. And that it's always neat as a pin. Perfect. And I don't know if it's because Garish Township residents are neater or no more, I don't know, but every now and then I have seen where a guy, he just drives in, dumps his leaves out in the middle. And so my point is that somebody, and I think it's Jim Osling, goes down there and cleans it up, but I don't know if it's daily or what, but there is that added expense to keep it. Otherwise, it could be a mess.
I mean, and we got our maintenance guys who are there, they can jump on the tractor and push it up. I mean, they should.
Yeah, well,
Or good Samaritans like you say, hey, man, put your stuff over there and it tells us. Don't dump it in the middle of the road.
We would have never had this discussion if it wasn't a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I know the garage does have not a huge front end loader, but they have a front end loader over there.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons it looks neater is because they're making a gigantic pile and all this stuff,
This was kind of a mess to begin with, though. I mean, it was full basically. So once it's
Yeah.
clean, start from scratch, I think when we keep up with it, I think it'll be
But wasn't it
good.
that Jim has the business right down the road, so he come here a couple of times a week and it's been neat every time I've been there. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, theirs is smaller than ours, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they got less, so they gotta stay on it or they're gonna run out. Yeah, thanks. What you got, John?
Powers. I think the gate's a great idea. John Barta, I'm Fountain. I think a great idea, by the way. Now, do you know the hours? I think it's daylight.
Yeah.
It'll close up. For the fob will not work until after 6 o'clock.
been over there, right?
Yeah, you can program it to stop and to shut off the power so it won't open at certain hours. So we can control those hours. No.
That's what I was.
But
Didn't do my.
it just hit almost dark, John. If it's in August or it's in July, you know. It's another good thing.
I'm working out just one of them. With that. Anyway, I think that's a great idea. The question, you guys thinking of putting the, recycling bins behind it as well?
Not at this time, I don't think. We're getting a scrap metal dumpster delivered just before, like last week in May. So I don't know room-wise what we'll have to put them back there. Now, if we get a gate, maybe we think about it, but I mean, I think those 3 months are just the worst months. I mean, I get it, it's summer, but regularly during the year, there's no issues. Like, I don't see any issues. Well, what do you-
And then you might wanna think of moving the gate pole or whatever it is, and install something. You have an issue with the dog park at that point, like.
Yeah.
Put the entrance, sort of, around a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too, but I mean, we could,
We have had this discussion, though. I like the convenience of it being outside, but also I don't like that the possibility of certain people, certain times a year, filling our dumpsters and then we gotta empty it a second time. But, I think we've solved that.
or maybe we move them in the summer back there.
Well, maybe so. Maybe just for the summer. The fob idea was good, but, and really a concerning price. John said he paid something for his a long time ago and hasn't paid for it since. And I said, he knows the bargain and he sees one.
One of the ladies. Hey, as far as spring stuff goes, I just, made me think, Old 27, I don't know if you guys ever communicate with Town Needs Road, but man, that is off. Drive up and down.
Over at Southie,
The
man?
road's slow, so I don't know if you guys ever, people or ever communicate on the road. I got excited when I heard you say that they're gonna clear up.
Ah.
Did same thing I'm going.
It's like
Yeah.
driving on the road.
I actually talked to them about that one day and they said, I said, why is it like that every year? You guys find a section, fill it in, and it's still awful. He said,
Every spring.
it's according to him, there is a river of some sort that runs underneath that. So when it freezes and then it thaws, it expands and said there's really nothing they can do. And I don't know. I kind of find it hard to believe, but
I do know in the Forest Service there, I worked in the construction and maintenance, and it's all because of the amount of money they put into that road originally. If you don't build them like Super Fortress, they're gonna go.
yeah.
So, you think, oh, all that money to put in a new road, actually, it should be way more and it lasts a lot longer.
Well,
I just.
it's terrible, man, but I found worse. You go a little bit north and get into Crawford County, and then you're going all the way down. It's horrible.
It's like driving on railroad tracks.
You would never do that.
Last comment, I just, I want to sense, because I want to offend Steve. But as far as the chicken ordinance goes, the planning commission has said no multiple times about that. And we're the ones who are supposed to understand the better judgment of what the community wants. So and I don't know how many people want chickens. But honestly, I talked to a few people that found it joking, and then I got curious, and I didn't know anybody who really wanted chickens.
I know a couple of dozen, as they talk to me. I know a couple of dozen because they talk to me and they stopped going to the planning commission meetings because they said the planning commission isn't gonna listen to them anyways.
Yeah. And so I guess, and I just, it just kind of confounds me why we're doing this when it seems like most of the people really aren't interested in that. So you have some examples. I trust that you do, but it seems like the planning commission is saying no, and we've got a special interest who says, yes, I want that. You certainly have more, but it just, I putting it, chickens in R1 just doesn't make sense to me. I think there's probably going to be some people who are interested to know why you decided to do it, even though the planning commission said no multiple times.
Did you ever see the thing I put out about all the cities in Michigan that have chickens? Detroit, Ann Arbor, Traverse City, Flint, Grand Rapids, all those people have chickens.
Yeah.
It's a thing that a lot of people are interested in. A lot of people are interested in growing their own food. It's
Yeah, organic stuff, I understand.
a lot of people are interested in being a little more self-sufficient, so.
Yep, I gardened when had a huge garden downstate, Steve, and it was organic, and I understand that, and I understand it. But I guess, you can get organic eggs in the grocery store and, and it's different. Anyway, that's all that I,
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because you're giving me an opportunity to explain something that I was advised legally not to do and pass that on. The planning commission actually should be, or could be, operating as an extension of our agenda, further our agenda. They don't have to. Most places, that's what a planning commission is, unless they're big and you throw something at them like, hey, we want you to create a septic ordinance. Then they're going to do their thing. When the planning commission first started on the chickens, we were told that we can't come in there and try and interfere. And I get, okay, we
yeah,
can't.
absolutely.
One time I made a mistake and did come in here, but in the end, it was spelled out to me by our legal firm. Communication from planning commission to township board should be board to board chair to planning commission chair to planning commission. That takes the undue influence part out of that. I think right off the bat, we ran into resistance. A lot of communication I would have loved to have come in here and said something about, just never happened. But in the end, we give things to the planning commission, we take their input, and then we decide. So it is not like the planning commission tells us, comes up with something and then gives it to us as a way that we have to follow it. We have the ability to take that input and make a decision.
Sure, oh, yeah.
And the unfortunate part was a lot of the other side of the story never came out in all those meetings because we couldn't go.
Sure, absolutely. You just have representatives of the community who are involved, willing to know, willing to contribute time, on the different commission, the planning board and the commission. And so it just, and there are people who want to have farm animals in the city. I mean, there are. And they're smaller, and there's arguments for all of those. Whether it's hogs or whatever. I had some neighbors who, and so again, I think that or ducks or geese or whatever, but in any case, I just don't understand why we would do that. And, that's just my opinion. You guys have a great afternoon.
John.
Yep. You too. There's nobody here. Either one of you want to go round two? No, okay. So that would be the end of the public comment. I would entertain a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion.
Okay. I'll second it. Any discussion on it? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting signify by saying aye. And oppose the same.
139.
139. All right.
139, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Thank you guys for coming in.